That story.
And all your friends.
Okay, Betty, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Betty Stevens,
And
and this is
And
my cousin.
And you were born when?
I was born April the 11th, 1932.
And where were you born at?
I was born in New Orleans. I don't think I was born in a hospital. I think I was born midwife at home, I think.
In the alleyway? Introduce yourself.
and I'm Stevens, but I'm not going to say my first name because my son misspelled it.
Robert.
No, he spelled Robert Lewis, L-E-W-I-S.
Oh, okay.
I said it's not L-E-W-I-S, it's
Like I do with
L-O-U-I-S.
Brian. It's
Yeah, B-R-Y-A-n.
and I want to spell it all the time.
Where were you born?
B-R-I-N.
Anyway, I was born at Baptist Hospital.
When were you born?
April 29th, 1932.
Great.
And Betty's older than me. And Catherine's way older than me. she's getting to be an old chicken.
So she wins the award, right?
Yes,
she
but
does.
she doesn't admit to it though.
No,
She's always younger than I am.
She can't remember when she was born.
Betty, who was your mom and dad?
My mother was Raffaella Shambra, and my father was Preston Jacobs. And I had one brother who was also named Preston.
Preston, yes.
Okay. And you were married to Albert?
I was married to Albert Stevens.
Better known as AJ.
Yeah, H.A. June the 3rd, 1951.
Wow.
And
And
she-
you didn't have a senior moment there. You remember that?
Yes,
And she had a real nice wedding, I'll tell you.
yes.
The family got together and cooked hot dogs and
That was what I wanted.
and
Hot dogs and chili.
and Otis stole beer. So it was really nice. They had a lot of people at. How many people did you have at your wedding?
Oh God, I guess about maybe 200.
Yeah, it was really
200.
super nice.
Yeah, I wanted weenies and chili, and Miss, what was that sandwich place we used to get?
Oh, Miss Drake.
Miss Drake
Miss Drake
sandwiches.
Yes, they were really
I didn't want
good.
that fancy stuff.
Yeah,
I wanted
and it was
weenies
homemade chili, wasn't it?
homemade
Right.
chili, homemade chili,
and hot dog.
and beer,
And
beer, and the soft drinks, and the champagne.
we had them little old Italian women serving for us.
No.
Serving for her.
No, my mom hired two black ladies
Oh,
that she
oh,
worked
okay.
with at the
Okay.
factory, and black men to be the bartenders, and that was the helpers.
That was from Famous and Sternberg?
Famous and Sternberg, where
I was-
our
I was-
mothers were seamstress.
Yes. Well, I was showing that to Brian, and how that used to be a sweatshop. So
Oh,
I mean, they
yeah.
call them sweatshops now,
Now.
but at that time they were just your average run of the mill.
Run of the mill,
Yeah.
and that was.
And
it
they used to
was.
sew. What your mother sewed?
My mother.
They all sewed a certain
part of the men's suits.
What she sewed?
Uh,
Zippers.
I can't remember what she did.
What did my mother
That's
do?
been too long. I
Yeah.
forget what she
I know.
did.
I know.
I think my mother worked on the coats, I think.
Okay.
I
I know.
think
I know
she
the
did
men. The men couldn't find employment.
Yeah,
There was nothing for the men.
for the men. It was during Depression
And
times.
the women could find all the jobs they wanted.
I was a Depression baby.
Yeah, me too.
My father was without a job.
Yeah.
And my mother was without a job too then. And then my father got a job with Binder Bakery. He took care of the trucks. And they had a little house for them to live in. And then eventually went to work at the factory. And my daddy took care of me at his, by then he had a little business of his own where he repaired batteries and tires for cars. So when I wasn't in the nursery school, my dad took care of me till my mom came home.
And y'all lived on St. Ferdinand Street.
Well, first we lived on
Burgundy?
St. Claude.
St. Claude.
St. Claude, that's where he had the business. And then we moved on St. Ferdinand.
But y'all stayed there for quite a while on St.
Oh
Ferdinand.
yeah, yeah. Then
Over
we
20
moved.
years, huh?
Then we moved on Rampart by Josephine.
Okay,
And
yeah,
that's
it's by
where
Paps.
Yeah, that's where I got married.
Yes.
Back of Pap's food
Yeah.
store.
And how did Albert come to ask you for his hand or for your hand?
The night he gave me the ring.
Yeah.
Okay, that was New Year's Eve of 1950.
Well, you got drunk?
No, we were at a
Oh.
party at your mother's
Oh,
for New
okay.
Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And when 12 o'clock rang, I had gone and lay down in his mother's bed because I was sleepy. The party was in the rest of the house. And then he came and got me out the bed to come into the room where everyone was, and he gave me the engagement ring.
Oh my goodness.
And I cried.
Now, was that one of the parties that was in the back shed?
Well, it was indoors because it was New Year's Eve and it was cold. But we wound up out in the yard because they did the fireworks. And
My dad had a party at the drop of a hat.
there
If anybody dropped their hat, there was a party.
was a party. All our showers, the wedding shower, the baby shower,
Yeah.
was at his
And,
parents' home.
and you told a story about my birthday party across the street.
Yes.
At the lodge.
At the lodge.
And my daddy wanted you to come to dance with Albert.
Your mom said, "Are you bringing a date?" And I said, "Well, no," because his mother said, "Invite all his friends from school." So I did that, and she said, "Are you bringing a date?" And I said, "Well, no, coming just to the party." And so she said, "Okay," because I asked Albert if he wanted to come, because he was about 4 years older than us. So he was kind of hesitant at first, and he said, "Well, is Betty going to have a date?" And she said, "Well, I don't know, I'll find out." So he said, "Because if she's not, I'll come. If she has a date, I'm not going to come."
When Albert
Which
saw
I
those
didn't.
legs, he melted.
I didn't really know him that much, before the party. I used to see him in the cocktail lounges, the dancing places, but he was with his crowd, and they were, like I say, 4 years old.
So tell me about one of these lounges.
Oh, we used to go on weekends.
Well, we could tell a story about
Yeah.
when Albert hit my car.
When you went up the steps
Yeah.
in the lounge in the St. Bernard, y'all
drove
the car.
Yeah, drove the car up the stairs, up the steps. Yeah, the place was elevated.
Elevated.
It had about must have been a dozen stairs to get up to.
More than a dozen.
All concrete
Others.
stairs.
Big
Drove
stairs.
the car up there. And
Trying to valet park.
Trying to get
Valet
in,
park,
trying to get closer
trying to
to the
save
front door,
space.
where they wouldn't have to walk up the steps.
So what lounges did you go to that were well known at the time?
Well, we used to go to Gennaro's a lot on Metairie Road.
yeah. And the one on Legion Fields by the overpass, that's where we had the accident.
Oh, yeah.
The Bellevue. The Bellevue Lounge on Legion
Lounge.
Fields it still is an overpass
Past
there.
there.
And Albert and I were kind of racing. I kind of sideswiped him a little bit.
And I think he swerved out in front of you, too.
Well, maybe so.
Trying to get past.
But anyway, so I had to call my insurance company. They took care of it.
Yeah, the police came and couldn't believe
Yeah.
they were related with the same
Yeah.
last names.
Yeah.
So that was a little awkward trying to explain how that accident happened.
What are some famous lounges you went to in New Orleans?
Oh, gee.
All right. Myself, I used to go to Gennaro's a lot, like I said. And then there was a lounge out on Airline Highway.
Yes.
We used to go to.
Yeah, by
that the mafia owned.
Yes, by the ship channel there, by the industrial canal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about on the Airline Highway.
Oh, okay, on the
Airline Highway, going out past Metairie.
Okay.
Used to be the mafia owned that
Okay.
big place there.
Yeah.
And at that
Lenfins?
time, in the Lenfins, yeah.
Yeah.
And that time, the bands were black men.
Yeah.
Terrific musicians before unions formed. And once the union got into the music industry, they had to have a special license and had to belong to the union. That ended the black bands coming and playing for the white people.